the things we learn on the daily. Okay, so book reviews on Amazon. I've been frustrated. A lot of my colleagues and friends and clients have been frustrated. And a lot of these individuals are people who have published many times over. So a great example of this is my wonderful friend, Jenna McCarthy. She's published 18 books, for God's sake. She's been after reviews for years and years and years. And with her current book with Aaron Cole, The Sides of Everything, which is slowly really I think they've hit a tipping point with reviews because now they're just like chugging in. I think they're up over 200 now, but it was an effort. It was an effort to get to 200. It was even an effort to get to 50, she'd tell you. I'm struggling with enough. I just hit 40. Listen, I know how many books I've sold, and I know how many books my clients have. Like, we're all transparent about it. It's more than 50, and more than 50 people have told me that they've written reviews. So let's talk about this. Here's what's happening. The Amazon guidelines have gotten more and more strict, the community guidelines, like what you can post in reviews, who can post reviews, etc., because people figured out how to game the system, which is, I mean, it is what it is, okay? So now it used to be that like there were restrictions that made sense. For example, you can't write your own reviews. If they got a plethora, so glad I got to use that word today. I have the hiccups, by the way, so I apologize. If a plethora of reviews were submitted on the same day, that raised a red flag for Amazon. So way back in the day, what people would do is they'd have book launch parties and they'd like have an iPad sitting out, and everybody who walked in the door, it was like a revolving, go to the iPad, go to the iPad, go to the iPad, write a review. Well, Amazon got slammed with like 30 to 150 reviews all at once. Sorry, I can't talk right now. They realized what was happening. I have Do Not Disturb on. I don't understand why those even come through. So they realized what was happening and they shut that down. So now the new thing was like, have them trickle in. You don't want them to come in all in a thing. Bad language in a review, obviously. Like, you can't say this book kicks ass. You also can't say this book sucks ass. Like, it can't be positive or negative if you're going to be swearing in the review. That will get you banned. But here's the new thing, and this is really frustrating. But it is what it is. So let's not focus on how frustrating it is. Let's figure out a solution. The internet world is very connected, right? So hence, good morning, Neil. I haven't seen you in a while. Hence, they know, if I go out onto butcherbox.com, which to be clear is a meat place, and just am there for half a second, I will see an ad for ButcherBox on Facebook within 5 minutes. So if you're in denial about the fact that the internet knows where you are, get out of denial, because they do. The thing is, Lauren, I love you, my KC buddy forever. The thing is that Amazon, you have an email address where you sign up. If you're a reader, a consumer, you have an Amazon account, okay? You have an email address that you use to sign into your Amazon account. You also have a Facebook account, and your friends and you have email addresses that you use to sign into Facebook and other social media platforms. Here's what happens. When Amazon can correlate through the magic of the crazy algorithm that I so wish I understood, that somebody is not only your friend on Facebook, but that you have messaged. Like, you've exchanged some messages. I don't know how far they can see into your email and things like that, but like, you've exchanged some messages on Facebook. Now they're your friend. Like, they're more than just an acquaintance. Now they're actually a friend. And the new community guidelines on Amazon state that friends, relatives, probably friends of friends and friends of relatives cannot write reviews. It sounds preposterous, and I'm not going to say that it isn't, but it's along the same lines as, when NBC would have a contest for something. If you're an employee of NBC, you can't enter. If you have a relative who's an employee at NBC, you can't enter. So it's not like this practice hasn't been around for a long time, but they're trying to make it difficult for people to game the system, which I appreciate. What I don't appreciate and what makes it really challenging is that in the book world, it's your friends. We use Facebook as an advertising platform. So when people say, I wrote a review, but it didn't, people are like, oh my God, everyone's lying to me. They said they wrote a review, but they didn't. They quite possibly did. I had a friend who wrote a wonderful review. It's actually one of my best friend's fathers wrote a wonderful review 4 weeks ago, and he emailed me and he was livid because he said they rejected my review. Here it is, like, what's wrong with this review? And I read it and there was nothing wrong with it, except that one thing was it was long. It was about 4 paragraphs long. That's another red flag for Amazon because they think you might be gaming the system with keywords. Like you might be feeding the reviews to people so that the keywords are now in the reviews. So that's happening. There was no swearing. There was no anything. And he and I are not friends. He's not even on Facebook. But he's the father of my best friend with whom I not only communicate, but like and comment and etc. with frequency on Facebook. He messaged them because here's the deal. If I message them, they won't tell me why they reject a review. They won't tell the author or the publisher. They will supposedly tell the person who tried to place the review. But who in their right mind has time to get on the phone and talk and wait to say, why was my review rejected? Like nobody's going to do that. But this delightful man did. And they were like, we don't know. We just don't know. So then he tried to go out and review it again, and he was told that he's been like banned from writing reviews for this particular book of mine, or probably any book of mine for that matter. So we just had to let it go. So the thing is, you want your reach to go outside your friends and family. And I actually believe this is a really good thing because we all are like, oh my God, I have 300 friends, at least on Facebook, and they're all going to buy the book. And the thing is, they're all going to tell you they're buying the book. Don't believe them. I'm not calling people liars. I'm not. But let's just be honest. If you're out with somebody and they if you run into somebody like in Starbucks and they released a book 2 months ago and you have been meaning to get it, but you haven't yet, are you going to say, darn it, I haven't gotten it yet? You're going to feel bad. So you're probably going to say, oh my gosh, it's in my Amazon cart. Or it's shipping, it's on its way to me. You haven't even ordered it yet. And then by the time you get home, you forget. So they're not lying to be unkind. They're lying like just not to hurt your feelings. But just because they say they bought it doesn't mean they bought it. And just because they say they're going to buy it does not mean it means nothing. To be clear, it means nothing. They have to actually do it. And it's not because people are bad people. It's because we're all very, 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 very busy. And if it's not right in front of us, we're not going to do it. But once you get your immediate friends and family to buy the book, you have to, that's circle one, right? If we're talking about like Dante's Inferno, which for some reason I remember, Lauren, if you're still here, from what was his name's literature class where I was scarred for life because I couldn't get above a C on a paper. But anyway, you're at the hub, right? Your friends and family are just the hub. They're just the starting point. Like, they're the bare minimum. You have 7.5 billion more people, not that are going to buy your book, but within which to find the people who are going to buy your book. And they're not your friends and family. And even if you've maxed out your Facebook friends at 5,000, it's in the grand scheme of the world, it's only 5,000. So what needs to happen is you need to have a marketing approach that has your friends sharing, that has things that are shareable, so that people who aren't friends with you are compelled to check out the book and buy it. So the marketing strategies of and by of I mean of like 8 months ago, don't work as well anymore because Amazon has gotten kind of hip to what some people were doing. Not everybody, but I feel like I should be able to write a review of a book that I'm a verified purchaser of. And that's another thing is sometimes there are people who I've given a free book to, like during the launch period. I've given them my book for free. They haven't even downloaded it off of Amazon. I've just sent them the PDF or the EPUB or the Mobi or whatever. And they've been able to successfully write a review. It's not verified because they don't have a verified purchase, but they've been able to successfully write a review. But then I have people who I know because I've like been sitting with them or whatever. I just trust them. They've purchased the book on Amazon and they can't write a review, or they write a review and it's not verified. And one of the reasons that happens is because people buy the book under like their spouse's email and then they go in to write it under theirs. So now it's not verified because you're logged in under an account that didn't make the purchase of the book. It was your spouse, or it was your kid, or it was your alias, like whatever you act as your other person, your alter ego on Amazon and whatever else, right? So that's what's happening. And the solution is not to just be like, throw your hands up in the air and be like, oh my God, this sucks. The solution is we have to ask people one at a time very directly. So I tell my clients, when people say to you, oh my gosh, I just read your book and I loved it, first of all, say thank you. And then you're welcome to say, I'd be so appreciative if you'd write a review. But they're probably not going to remember to do it. So what you do is you park their name away somewhere in your phone, in your notes, in your something. You message them the next day or 2 days later or whatever, send them an email, send them a text, send them a Facebook message, something, and say, I so appreciate your kind words about my book. It would be incredibly helpful if you would be willing to take 7 seconds and write a review. It doesn't have to be lengthy. It can be 1 sentence. And then include the link to your book. If they have to go searching for it, forget about it. I mean, I love people, and if I have to go searching for it, forget about it. But if you give me a link, I will click, I will star it, I will write it, I will submit it, and now we're good. But you take it one at a time. And you don't get frustrated by the whole, reviews are important. Because the other thing about the Amazon algorithm is especially when you're running sponsored ads, and I'm seeing this with my 4th book, Holy Shit, I'm Having Twins, the more reviews you get, the less you have to pay per click and the higher in the search results you show up. Which makes sense. If it's a very well-reviewed book it's clear that a lot of people are reading it. So it totally makes sense. But you can't game it anymore. And sometimes people who legitimately bought your book, read your book cover to cover, loved it, and wrote a glorious review will get rejected because they're your friend. So this is one time when maybe having 5,000 friends, not so helpful. Not so helpful. Just a thought. So I know that that's a big point of frustration for a lot of people, and I don't want it to be. Reviews are very important. There's no doubt at all. If you go click, just look at yourself as a consumer. If you go click on a book, you're more than likely going to see how many reviews it has if you've never heard of it before. And if it has 1 review, even if it's a 5-star review, it might put you on the fence a little bit. Reviews are really important, but don't get caught up in the crazy of, oh my God, the algorithm sucks. Because that doesn't get you anywhere. Just do what needs to be done to message 1 person. I tell my clients, message 1 person every day or 1 person every other day. Send a specific, which is all about rapport and connection too, which is what I'm all about. It's not about a big, massive blast. You know what gets me crazy? Let me segue real quick to the enough side of this. Just a thought I had. When businesses with whom I've spent money send me an email and say, well, Tim, great point. I'm going to get there in a second. And say, will you do us a quick favor and fill out this survey? I'm like, and the F word comes out of my mouth. Because I'm like, what? Like, in exchange for what? Now, I've had a couple of companies say, in exchange for a $10 Amazon gift card, it's a 5-question survey. I'm like, I'm all in. But if you just want me to take up any part of my day to answer even no. So this massive thing of sending out emails and saying to a broad base, will you please go review my book? It doesn't work great. It just doesn't. It works much better to actually connect with someone and say, here's the link. I would be so appreciative if you could take just like less than 15 seconds. This would really help me out. And how can I help you with something you're working on? Tim Burt just made a great point, which is that My hiccups aren't gone yet. Facebook won't show all of your posts to all 5,000 of your friends, which is 100% true. I mean, it's getting worse and worse and worse. Another thing that people are complaining about, but it doesn't do us any good to complain about it. It's a free freaking platform. Like, what do you want? I'm on a tangent. But like, if you want to pay to boost your posts on your page, then go ahead. But like, if you reach even 5 people for free, you're reaching them for free. You know, so I know Gary Vaynerchuk, like, gets a little more passionate than me even about that fact. It's free. So you really can't complain like, oh, they're the algorithm, because it's free. If I were paying $30 a month or $100 a month or whatever to use the service, then I could be a little more upset that my 5,000 people aren't all seeing my posts. But in all fairness, I'm not seeing all of my friends' posts because I choose not to. I'm sure that everyone watching this, I'm seeing all of your posts. But at any rate, that's my thing. So don't be frustrated. Just find a way around it. Message one person today. In fact, comment below and let me know. Just say, I messaged somebody. If you have a book out and you would like more reviews, and if you have a book out, I would encourage you to want more reviews, even if you have 1,000 reviews, then just put, I messaged somebody, and let me know, let everyone else know that you messaged someone and said, hey, would you take 15 seconds? All right, have an amazing day. I'm going back to monitoring my own ads on Amazon. I'll talk to you later.